Om Sadashivasamaramabham Shankaracharya-madhyamam Asmadacharya-paryantam Vande Guru-paramparam. Okay, we have finished the whole elaborate chanting. So now, before I go forward, we will look into a quick. We saw 5 khyatis, right? Pancha khyatis we saw. Maybe we can do a good. Okay. What was the first one, remember? Okay. Anyatra, Anyadharma, Adhyasa. Okay. So what is this? What is this khyati based on? By whom? For whom is this khyati?
Mixing of perceptions.
No, not exactly mixing of perceptions.
Remembering what was, what your prior experience.
Yeah.
Remembering from the memory, it is the silver and.
Yes.
Is that it?
It is based on alaukika pratyaksha. So both the perceptions are valid. You are mixing up 2 perceptions. Okay, this belongs to the Nayayika. Okay, okay. Then what is the quickly to going? Oh, what is the next one? Yatra yad tad vigraha viveka agrahanam. Atma khyati. Atma khyati is what? Everything is subjective, projected outside. 2 vrittis, both projected outside. Okay. Then
But there's one of the Shunyavadis, no? Where there is no
yeah, where exactly. Asat khyati, there is no khyati at all. And anirvachaniya khyati. Yeah. Satched na badeta, asatched na pratiyate. That way. Okay. Any questions or clarifications on this? On the 5 khyatis?
Swamiji, I did have a question.
Yeah? Sure.
The Purva Mimamsaka takes everything to be real.
Yeah.
So even something like the dream, will they take that also?
No, dream he accepts as dream.
Okay.
Yeah, but everything else, all your perceptions of the world is real.
Okay, I see.
So there is no real khyati. It's asat khyati. There is no real mistake made. There is no real mistake made because whatever is there is valid. Yeah.
Okay.
Whatever is there is valid. That is the whole thing. Yeah. Akhyati means there is no khyati at all. Whereas in the other one it is a perception error. That's the difference. Yeah. Atma khyati, what inside is projected outside. Yeah. Yeah. Shunyavadan also says any dharma that's on me is projected outside. So it's similar but different. Only the base differs. Base is Shanikam or base is Shunyam. So for the, see, everyone accepts the world is not what it seems to be. You cannot but accept that. No, world, people, things, they are not what they seem to be. This is a given. Now the question is how you are explaining it. So how you are explaining it, all the logic, this, that, etc. comes into the picture. Which will be influenced by how you have defined the whole thing. Okay. Science, for example, will just put it as an erroneous perception because of external factors and leave it like that. Yeah. Because the photometric theory of perception is not enough to explain error. I said that before. The theory of light causing perception is not enough. If you are leaving out the mind, is not enough to explain error. If you bring in the mind, then it is not an issue. But then science, because of its very physicality, its materialism, does not accept a separate mind other than the information organizing activity of the brain is what they call mind. I am supposed to put together arguments of science and Vedanta's answer to that. Time kidhar milega मालूम नहीं करेगा. Do it sometime. I promise my Guru Bhais that I will do it. Okay. But I am not given a time frame. So, okay. Okay. Any other questions, or this is clear?
So Swamiji, so in the event that I see the shell as a shell only, not as silver,
Yeah.
then some of these kyatis are not applicable, right? Like for example...
No, none of them will be applicable because it's yathartha darshanam, yathartha jnanam. So the khyatis come into the picture when it is Brahma.
Yes.
You know, when there is a Brahma happening, a mistaken notion happening, how you are going to explain the mistake?
Yeah.
That's where all these things are. Yeah?
So only Vedanta comes and actually says that the shell is not a shell, but
Yeah.
actually everything is
Yeah. Anirvachaniyam comes only in Vedanta.
only in Vedanta.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, that is why, see, Shankara doesn't, as I said last time, doesn't elaborately answer it here. Yeah. This is that program that's going below, that noise. I think you are coming. I thought you are not coming. Okay. Anyway, so, yeah, I'll speak louder. So the question is, now, he says one thing is irrefutable. What is that? Sarvatha api tu anya dharma avabhasate na vyabhichariti. Whichever definition you take, however manner you explain away the adhyasa, fact is what? You are saying something that is not there. The dharmas are something that is not there. Why you are seeing it, how you are seeing it, you can explain. But this much remains irrefutable. That means what? An erroneous perception is there. Yeah. That it is not what you saw it. That is irrefutable. Okay? Okay. So that is the conclusion of that thing. Then he says, तथा च लोके अनुभव शुक्र का ही रजतवत अवभासते एक चंद्र स द्वितीयवद इति. Because if you are saying by what pramana are you going to establish adhyasa, adhyasa is only anubhava siddham. Because if a pramana is establishing it, it should be real. At least vyavahara yogyam it should be. This is a pen established by a perception. Therefore, is vyavahara yogyam. Okay? If you are taking it as a stick, that stick is not vyavahara yogyam. Why? It is not pramana siddham. It is Brahma. Therefore, he says, Rajju shuktika hi rajata vad avabhasate. That vad avabhasate is important. There is a substratum. There is something erroneously imposed upon it, and that is caused by avidya. All this is said by the word vad. Rajata vad avabhasate. That avidya is the karanam. There has to be a different substratum and there is an appearance. All right. But you take one piece of shell as one piece of silver. You will take one rope as one snake. You don't take it as a family of snakes. Whereas here, there is one reality you are taking as many. He says, Eka Chandraha Dvitiya Chandravad. If you have a problem called diplopia, it's a rare eye disease. Okay, it's a rare eye problem called diplopia, where you see two things. One appears as two. One of our cricketers, old-time cricketer, Nawab Potawdi, he had it. That's why he would get out very fast. Why? He's seeing two bats and two balls. Now, with which bat to hit which ball? Yeah. Sometimes he would score also. Yeah. Yeah. So it's a diplopia issue. For him, it was because of an injury. Yeah, other things. So diplopia issue, if it is there, Eka Chandraha, Dvijit Chandravad. Okay, yeah. So that is where the whole thing comes. Therefore, one can appear as many as well. One is as one. One can be many as well. There is no rule. Okay. Now, yeah.
What is exactly now you said what is avidya?
What is it? That what? Yeah, because without avidya there is no adhyasa.
So what is the exact difference? Because of avidya there is adhyasa.
Exactly. Karna bhava is there. There is a karna karya bhava. Avidya is karna. But it is adhyasa that is addressed. We'll come later, but we'll think. It is adhyasa that is being addressed, not avidya, because adhyasa is the problem. Why do you start looking for things? Because you feel the problem, no? You feel a problem. Can you put the behind one so that they will get the breeze at the same time this noise will not be there? No, other one. That one. Yeah. So, adhyasa creates the problem. Avidya is there, okay, nobody bothers much about it. So that's why adhyasa is being addressed, not avidya. But for adhyasa to go, you have to take care of avidya. Yeah. That's where the whole thing comes in. Yeah. Yeah. Then he says, now he brings a very nice Purvapaksha. Katam punaha pratyagatmani avishye adhyasaha vishyata dharmanam. Why? Sarvo hi puro avasite vishye vishyantaram adhyasyeti yushmat pratyapetasya cha pratyagatmanaha avishyatam bhravishi. Now, how can you say that Atmani Adhyasa is Pratyagatmani Adhyasa is possible? How do you say that? How can you say that? Have you in your thing, in your philosophy, okay, Pratyagatma is not available for perception. You will mistake a shell for a silver. Why? The shell is seen by you. Puro avasthitin vishve. The object is in front of you. Do you mistake, now sitting here, do you mistake Gomukh for Gangotri? Because not Puro avasthit. Either bhi hai. You are not seeing it. Yeah. Yeah. Therefore, it has to be in front of you. You have to be objectifying it. A rope for a snake, essence, all this. Indriya samyuktam should be there. It should be an object of perception. Only then you can make a mistake. Okay? Puro avasthitim vishya eva vishyantaram adhyasayati. That is not possible here. Because by your definition, Pratyagatma is not available for anything. No perception is possible. And if you are saying Atma is beyond mind, etc., then also is not possible. Because beyond mind, etc. Then how are you going to have an adhyasa. Therefore, adhyasa is not possible. Can you see, this is a very powerful argument actually. Because every example of adhyasa you give, it will be between two objects. Rope, snake, sea, silver, this, post, ghost, all that, whatever example you give. Two objects. That means what? Indriya samyuktatvam should be there. If it is not indriya gocharam, you do not have adhyasa. Okay? Okay. Yeah? Yep. Who's asking, Kamini or Neeta?
Yeah.
Okay, Neeta, tell me.
I just wanted to know why they use the term Pratyagatma. Why not only Atma?
To make a difference that the Pratyagatma is the one I, which is objectifying all your cognitions. So the Pratyagatma, when you are ignorant, it is taken as knower. When you know, it is taken as the Atma. Because you experience subject-object divide in the world. And all adhyasa that you experience in the world is about objects. The object is not imposed on the subject. Therefore, you have to use the term Pratyagatma. Yeah, yeah. All right. And because this is how Vedanta is presented, that Atma is never the object. In fact, the Yushmad Asmat Pratyaya you said, no? I and this. So how can you ever have Adhyasa? Adhyasa is not possible. Yeah. You can't mistake one for the other. Okay. So for this, the famous answer is there. Uchyate na tavad ayam ekantena avishayaha. You can't say the Atma is totally unknown. Why? Asmat pratyaya vishayatvat. It is known as I. I am self-evident. Swata siddham. Swayam Jyoti, known by itself. Therefore, I can never say I am unknown. There is no rule that Indriya Gocharatvam should be there. The rule is only, is it known or unknown? If it is known, good enough. You can make a mistake about it. This I have been talking right from the first class. Why? When a person walks into a Gita class, he has come to study the Gita. He thinks, in my vision, I have that Brahma Sutra one day he is going to learn. That person potentially can learn the Brahma Sutra. So lay the foundation right there itself. Yeah, because the self-effulgent Atma is necessary. Okay. Therefore he says, Asmat Pratyaya Vishayatvat. Aparokshatvacha Pratyagatma Prasiddhehe. Aparokshatvacha. Nitya Aparokshaha it is. Directly seen by you. Where is it? Nitya Aparokshaha. Always Aparoksha, never will become Paroksha. See, an Aparoksha Vastu can become Paroksha, or a Paroksha Vastu can become Aparoksha. Gomukh right now is Paroksha. When you go there, it is Aparoksha. Heaven is Paroksha. When you go there, if and when, then it becomes Aparoksham. Aparoksham is used equivalent to Pratyaksham now at this level, okay? Therefore, here is what Nitya Aparoksha. Never can you put yourself in third person. If you do, that's a big blunder. If you do, that is a big blunder. That's the blunder that New Vedanta makes. By putting Atma in third person, beyond everything, you have to realize that. Yeah, that's a big blunder. Therefore, Nitya Parokshatvat, Pratyagatma Prasiddhehe. It's very well known. Even an idiot, you ask him, are you there? I don't know. Even a fool will not say that, I don't know. पूछ के बचाता हूँ. I will check up and let you know. Nobody says that. Even a mad person doesn't say that. Yeah. He may have his own illusions about what he is, but I am is evident. Yeah. Like I went to this asylum once. So one character is sitting there. Okay. I am the prophet of God. God has sent me here to tell you a few things. Then from above a voice is heard. He is lying, I have not sent him. There is another guy on top. Even if you are like that, they both know I am there. Pratyagatma prasiddhe, loka prasiddhe, everyone knows it. Shastra prasiddhi is there, and loka prasiddhi also, everyone knows. I am is self-evident. Yeah. Now, if you are a speculator, okay, speculator not on the stock market, but if you speculate philosophy, then you may give reasons of why you are self-evident. I am. How do I know I am? I think, therefore I am. That is a speculative answer. He is trying to explain how it is self-evident. It is actually self-evident. If it is not self-evident, how will that question come up? Do I exist or don't exist? Because unless you have the idea of I, you cannot say whether it exists or not exists. No? Does X, Y, Z particle exist? Unless you have a concept of a possibility, how do you even say, how will you even look for it to see whether it exists or not exists? So similarly, when the guy is saying, I think, therefore I am, he already knows I am. Without knowing I am, how can you give an explanation why you are? Yeah. Somebody else may say, I exist because of my father-in-law. Business family, I married a rich man's daughter. Yeah. I mean, people think these are jokes, but not jokes. I know this guy, royal family, given his palace to the Taj to make a hotel, and he is getting a share of the profits. So what does he do? What is his job? No job. So morning he'll make a show. He'll go to go to the gym, have a swim, come back. I mean, not come back, have his breakfast in the hotel itself. Then he'll go to the hotel office. He is not involved in operations, but for his own self-esteem, he goes to have a round, says hello to everyone. And they also put up with him because partner hai yaar. Then he comes home, has lunch, catches a nap, and goes to meet his buddies in the. I exist because of that. But even that guy knows I am. Yeah. He feels worthless and unproductive. But I am. Yeah, I am. Therefore, Pratyagatma prasiddhehi. Very well known. Yeah. Because the whole Vedanta rests on this part, that the I is self-evident. Then what that I is, all that is different thing. But I am is the most important thing. Self-evident and self-established. Yeah. He says, Nacha ayam niyamaha asti. Nacha ayam asti niyamaha. Purva avasthite vishaye vishayantaram adhyasavyam iti. He says there is no rule. There is no rule that only in an object existing in front of you. That means Indriya Gocharatvam. There is no rule that Indriya Gocharatvam is necessary for Adhyasa. How can you say that? In the world, every example you have given is this. No, he says, Apratyakshepi Akashe. How do you see Akasha? Which what sense organ? Space. How do you see Akasha? You don't see space because of any sense organ. Yeah. To see with your sense organ, it has to reflect light. If space starts reflecting light, you will not see anything. Why? Tube light. From there the light came out, it reflected backwards. What will you see? Jagadandya prasangaha will happen. You will not know anything. Therefore, apratykshepi akashe balaha. Children, what do? Tala malinatadyam adhyasyanti. The space is curving, there is form. Apratyksham, formless. Space is formless, not pratiksha. But you see a curve there, the horizon curve. There may be scientific reason, that's okay, like how there are reasons for seeing snake. There is a curve. Sky is foggy today, too much of pollution. Sky is cloudy. All that is imposed on the sky, no? Apratykshat. See, as an adult you know what is it. As children will take it as real, no? That's the idea. The children or the ignorant will take it as real. Yeah. Therefore, if on something that is not indriya gocharatvam, you are having the adhyasa of form and color, etc. Even color, space is colorless. But blue sky, clear blue sky. What clear blue sky? No color. All that shows what? Without indriya gocharatvam, adhyasa is possible. Adhyasa is possible without any indriya gocharatvam. Yeah. That means what is necessary for adhyasa? You must know and don't know. Or you mean to say part knowing, part not knowing? No. You must know that something is there and you must not know what it is. The asti of the snake, of the rope you should know. The vishesha dharma of the rope you need not know. The swarupa of the rope you need not know. Idantaya jnanam is necessary. There is something there. But swarupa jnanam not necessary. In fact, should not be there. Avidya should be there. Yeah?
Can I ask a question?
Shoot.
So, it is only when one inquires or I inquire into it. Suppose I see the shell, it's a silver, but I see the shell.
You see the shell of the silver. Tell me that first.
And either way.
Either way, no. You tell me which order are you saying.
It is a shell, and I see it as a silver.
Okay.
Which is an error on my part. But I don't realize that. I say that no, it is a silver only. What I'm seeing is real only. Even though it is shell, and I don't inquire into it. I don't go and pick it up.
You don't pick it up also. Okay.
I say okay.
Yeah.
Whatever. So then, unless and until I inquire into it, how do I know that there is an error?
You will not know. You are continuing in the Brahma.
So it is only inquiry or...
One second. Two things here. Every object of Brahma need not be inquired into. No? I think my neighbor is an idiot, but I have nothing to do with the person. So should I inquire and go? It may be pure adhyasa on my part, a subjective this thing. That a person is maybe a very smart person. I think he is an idiot. It's a Brahma. But I have no interactions with him at all, so why should I even bother? Can you see? Or he may be thinking that about me. क्या ये saffron robe में घूमता है? Hindutva character, idiot. He may be thinking like that. That's okay. It doesn't matter. See, there are a lot of Brahmas in the world. Everything you are not inquiring into. You will continue in the Brahma, but Brahma will not go. You will continue in that. It is silver. You continue. let somebody else pick it up, yaar, मेरे को ज़रूरत नहीं है. You will go. But all your life that is silver will continue. Similarly, many people don't look into the nature of the self. मैं इतना ही हूँ यार, ऐसे ही हूँ. Yeah, I'm like this only. Famous dialogue, Anna Raskala, you are like this only. So you are like this only, you continue. So the question is, if it troubles you, you will do something about it. Okay? Adhyasa troubles you. Adhyasa troubles you. Why? Because I have taken myself as a finite being, and I don't like to be a finite being. I struggle against that. I want to be happy, I want to be fulfilled. I am not a fulfilled person. Everything is going fine, but still I am not fine. Yeah. It is fine to have transaction analysis theories. You are okay, I am okay. But your experience is what? You are also not okay, I am also not okay, and hopefully that is okay. Because you are not okay, I am not okay will lead to criminal minds, okay? Destroy everything. But hopefully we function with this thinking, you are not okay, I am not okay, but that's okay. We are all flawed entities. We make a philosophy out of that, because otherwise how do we live in the world? Because the world is full of flaws anyway. Our personalities are full of flaws. We try to fine tune a few things so that we can make it manageable. Yeah. I mean, what else are we doing anyway? We all have our flaws. Who doesn't have? Personality flaws. Okay? As long as it's not character issues, it is okay. As long as it doesn't trouble your relationship, it is okay. If it troubles your relationship, do something about it. So we make a philosophy of live and let live. But we are all unfulfilled beings. We are, because of this adhyasa, ahankara is adhyasa. And because of that adhyasa, we are all unfulfilled beings. And everyone does something about it. Everyone does something about it. Artha kama as purushartha has come up only because of that, no? Because I am an unfulfilled being, I want to do something about it. Therefore, security pleasures. Artha and kama comes only because of that. Then if you are a little bit long-term thinking in terms of hereafter, etc., dharma will come. If you think in terms of the society, dharma will come in. So, it is only because of adhyasa and you are not comfortable with it, you want to do something about it, without recognizing it as adhyasa, dharmartha kama comes into the picture. Yeah. So we try various things. All our life we have been trying various things. No? Yeah. And there is a certain commonality, because there is a certain commonality as human beings. The adhyasa is common. No? Even though each one of us may have some vishesha as adhyasas, but there is a lot of common adhyasas also. Body, mind, etc. as me, that is common. Okay. And there is social indoctrination, this is the way to be. Why does everyone want to feel special? Even special people want to feel special. I built up an industry worth billions of dollars. I'm special. Now you should feel okay. You earn some honors. At least Padma Shri to milna chahiye na. So you'll lobby for that. At least I should be able to advise the government on economics. After all, I have built up an industry worth billions of dollars. I am the world's richest man. So you feel now special. Because the Prime Minister or the President calls him and says, no, no, be part of our... feel special. Now there's a chance either to do good, if there is dharma involved, or to build up your ahankara more. Presidents listen to me. Therefore, now I will advise UK. Your government will have a problem with our government, so you better change. What do you think you are? Yeah, you all know whom I am talking about. Elon Musk, he said that to the UK government. Come on. The Starlink is already running in problems in India. Why? We have caught terrorists with satellite phones linked to Starlink. And the company is refusing to respond. So we just cancel their license here. Finish. Wow, okay. Yeah, we don't want it. We can do with our cell phones, no problems. Because vast majority of business happens where there is net coverage. No? Who is going on top of the Himalayas and asking, I want net coverage? We all climb mountains without all that. No? Without cell phones, we have climbed mountains. What are you talking about? Yeah. At least two of us here have done that. Gone all over without phones. Who wants this Starlink connect? Not necessary. We can do business without that. So, this need for feeling special is part of that. Yeah. Why do you want a partner in your life? Because you're feeling special. We are special for each other. Both of them want to feel special, so we will feel special for each other. Then we will feel special for our children. And all the problems start because children move away. You envisage a brilliant career for your son. And the son says, I am quitting. What a disappointment it can be. Sadhu बनने का, बाबाजी बनने का. Yeah, it is for the parents a big disappointment. Because you're functioning in Adhyasa. So all this projection, this, that happens. Adhyasa is not limited to myself, it goes towards others also. No? If this is here, that also happens. So all these Adhyasavan Purushas are interacting. Oh my God. So wise person looking at it will say, what a madhouse. And the people look at the wise man and say, what a madcap. This is how it is, the world is. Bala, Unmata, all these are the your description for this thing, no? For a wise person. Yeah, correct. So, you continue in Adhyasa or choose to do something about it. If you choose to do something about it, Dharmartha Kama will not work. Why? The fundamental problem of avidya is not handled. And that is where the whole crux of the issue is. Okay? More than the world. First, this has to be set up. Then, as part of setting up this, the world is also set up, in terms of understanding. Okay.
Swamiji?
Yeah. Shoot.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, shoot.
Yeah, this, when we say Abhyati, they do not accept Adhyasa.
Who does not accept?
Abhyati.
Akhyati, no. See,
They don't accept.
experientially they have. The reason for that Adhyasa, they say it is not really Adhyasa, it is something else. Any Khyatis, any of the four Khyatis, it is not that they don't accept the experience of it. The experience of it is accepted. The explanation of it is different.
Okay.
Anubhav Siddham.
Yeah.
That's why he said previously, okay, what did he say previously? Okay. That loke anubhava sarvepi tu anyasya anya dharma avabhasatam. Something else is appearing as something else. That is not contradicted in any of these definitions. You are only explaining how it is happening. Are you getting what I am trying to say?
Yes.
Yeah, that is the thing.
But the reasons for Adhyasa are different.
Yeah. So your explanation will say, no, because see, why are different explanations coming in? Because if you accept Adhyasa, then for moksha there is no other way except jnanam, Vedanta.
Jnanam.
Now, if your philosophy is saying that you are going to get moksha by something else, then the first point to be attacked and dismissed is Adhyasa. Because if you are saying something other than Vedanta, what will you say? Either I will have to say, I am more than infinite, or I will have to say, I am less than infinite. More than infinite is not possible. So you will have to say, I am less than infinite. If you are less than infinite, then you will have to give something experiential as moksha. Then, for that, if it is less than infinite, obviously there is no Adhyasa for you then. Unless you say there is no, dismiss Adhyasa, there is nothing. How can you be less than infinite? Not only that, how can karma be a solution unless you are less than infinite? If it's a finite goal, then karma comes into the picture. No? Remember that basic rule of interpretation? Param chet jnatavyam, aparam chet kartavyam. If it is param, absolute, then you have to know. If it is aparam, finite, then you have to do something about it. I mean, that is applicable across the world. Hey, bhook lag raha hai. I know cooking. I have all the recipes in mind. Your hunger will still continue. Why? Aparam chet kartavyam. If nothing, eat the cookbook at least. Like Jagat, you will eat anything, you also eat that. Book mit jayega. Kartavyam. That is the problem when students of Vedanta. I know. Hey, Viveka, Vairagya, Shat Sampati, all that is to be done. No, I know na. Karta nahi hai. Phir atak jata hai udhar hi. Then you get stuck. Yeah. So the dismissal is only for the sake, because your philosophy is very. In every philosophy, karma comes in some form or the other. Everything. Karma will come in some way or the other. Even in Dvaita Vedanta, Vishishta Advaita Vedanta and all, it will come in through some way or the other. It will come in the form of bhakti. Yeah. So, it comes in.
That is the basis of that philosophy.
Exactly, yeah. Because finite, no? And udaramantaram kurte atatasya bhayam bhavati utapi swalpamapi antaram vedam division kurte, if you make tasya bhayam bhavati. Bhayam meaning insecurity. I will lose whatever it is. Yeah, you will lose. That because appreciation of loss and not being able to handle it is what fear is about. No? See, fear comes up. All insecurities come because you think you can't handle it. That's all. Isn't it? No? I can't handle it. If I can handle it, it is courage. If I can handle that, okay. So how will you handle it? I am independent, I will do everything myself. You may not be able to. Yeah. Because no person can do everything on your own. That's why there are so many different professionals. No? The whole service profession is for what? To help each other. No? If a lawyer gets into a medical problem, a doctor is available. If a doctor gets a legal jam, a lawyer is available. You can't do everything. We are living in an interdependent society. Yeah. So you don't have to do everything yourself. So in that process you handle. From I can't handle it becomes to I can handle it. At least insecurity is solved to an extent, manageable. Then you come to study Vedanta, abhayam pratistham vindati, everything. Yeah, it's all about that. Yeah. So this Adhyasa drives everything. Okay? And Adhyasa is the one who is experiencing problem. Nobody complains about problem in sleep. Does anyone complain? You complain problems that you are not getting a sleep. Or if you feel sleepy in a class, then you say, yaar, kya ho raha hai? Swami is not, he's too serious, not cracking enough jokes. I mean, a Swami may crack jokes, but he need not also. Okay, he's not an entertainer. Okay. Yeah. So, the Adhyasa, that's why the Adhyasa becomes so important.
Swamiji, I had a question. Can I ask?
Shoot.
Yeah. So my question was the argument on which we started the class, like the object of perception and how can we put Adhyasa on the object of perception, right? Now, object of perception is always duality. And then we bring in space because that is Swata Siddham. So even Adhyasa...
No, space is brought in not because it is Swata Siddham. Space is brought in because it is not Indriya Gocharam. It is not objectified by your sense organs. Yeah.
Yeah. So the thing is, anyways, but how can we explain space and other things with respect to Swata Siddham? Because it has different levels of reality, right?
Correct.
When we talk about object of perception, we are talking about Maya. And Swata Siddham is a total different reality. So, means, how do we explain this thing, you know, that what you are saying is right, that objective perception, Adhyasa, but not from Atman, how can we say, how do we do that? Like, you know.
See, that is why we are giving why are we giving the example of space? Because the question was, the argument was that if something is not Indriya Gocharatvam, something was not available for your sense organs as perception, you will not mistake it for something else. So we brought in space, saying that space is not available for your sense organs, but you still impute things to it. So similarly in the Atma, which is not available for your sense organs, but it is known as I, you can mistake it for something else. The argument is only that much. We are not going into the natures of reality right now. We are establishing Adhyasa first. And Adhyasa is Mithya.
But we are doing Adhyasa of something which is not available by the object of perception.
No, you are making a mistake. I am not available for perception, but body, mind, etc. is available for perception.
Yeah, okay.
Space is not available for perception as sense organs, but
okay.
Color, form, dust, etc. is available for perception. Na?
Yeah.
So both sides it is not available for perception.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. The substratum is not available for perception. That is the argument.
Yeah.
What is imposed, of course, is available for perception, because that is the very definition of Adhyasa. Purva drishtaha, smriti tulyaha. Can you see?
Okay.
Don't forget that basic definition.
Okay.
Purva drishta smriti rupaha. That means whatever you are superimposing has been available for your perception, or your knowledge at least. Whereas the substratum may not be available for your perception. In the case of rope, available. In case of the self, not available. But known. That's why he said, Natu Atma ekantena avishya is not totally unknown to you. Asmat pratyaya vishayatvat. You know as I. May kon hu, I may not know. You can make a song also out of it. Bulla na jane mein kon hu. Mulla na jane would have been better. Yeah. So, yeah.
Space not being available for perception. It's a very scientific way of understanding. So people with science background should actually get results faster, right?
In a way, yeah, that's why I tell people, get some exposure into science. The problem is, if science becomes a conditioning, that it has to be on this paradigm only, then yeah. That's why if you get a little bit into quantum physics and all, that gets shaken up a bit. The scientific paradigm of materialism and this gets shaken up a little bit when you get into quantum physics. And the study of consciousness even more. But it is still all about objectification. That part of it is very difficult to, yeah. Yeah. Because you can study disciplines of knowledge and logically understand and see it works out where it works, where it doesn't work. But if you allow your learning to be a conditioning, it becomes a problem. Yeah, it will get boxed up. Even with Vedanta. No, Vedanta is a solution to all your problems. You just know the truth, everything will be taken care of. Yeah? Food, clothing, shelter will come. Yeah. My relationship will improve. Yeah. In fact, I find this. There are sometimes students who are very good students. But understanding Vedanta well, intellectually, as a almost conceptually, doesn't guarantee you emotional maturity. No? It's with emotional maturity when you understand Vedanta, it makes it complete. That Sama Dhamma Uparati is all about emotional maturity. The whole Shat Sampati is about emotional maturity. Yeah. So if that is not there, Vedanta will not flow into your life. There will be areas where you get blocked, where you yourself will wonder, why am I behaving like this? Why is that idiot's behavior triggering so much of a nonsense in me? Because I have not taken care of those trigger points. Yeah, we all have our triggers. Yeah. So spiritual awakening doesn't guarantee you emotional maturity. That's why Vedanta makes it, see, if you look at this way the system is developed, we'll see that more in Athato Brahma Jignasa. We start by saying Viveka Vairagya Shat Sampati Mumukshutva. Vedanta addresses itself to an adhikari. That's why in olden days it was available only for asking. There was no public this thing. Even Gurukulas. You taught, Ishvara Jnanam was given. Whatever is necessary for emotional maturity was given. Then go, live your life. That is why you have things now. Bhrigu Vaivarunihi Pitaram Upasasara. He approached his father. Adi Devo Brahme. He asked for that knowledge. Sometimes out of compassion, this is the basis why we are doing public things. Shvetiketu and Uddhalaka. Uddhalaka created an awareness in Shvetiketu where he asked for this knowledge. Where he led him to this knowledge. Did you ask for that knowledge, knowing which everything is known? So those are the pramanas for us to do publications, awareness programs, etc. Because you create that awareness so that people can come to it. From a public talk, from a Vedic wisdom festival, whatever you talk. All this is for that. Because level of ignorance can be very high and people may not ask. Yeah. Because they may not ask God. Yeah. Even when told, people may say, no, I'm not ready for all this is all too much for me. ये मगजमारी नहीं करने का. Very, very nice Hindi word, I like that. ये मगजमारी नहीं करने का. Typical Bombay expressions, you won't find it anywhere else. Yeah, because of this. Because Naisirgikoyam Loka Vyavahara, again back to that. To tie up the whole thing. It has been going on for from beginningless time. You're conditioned to function in Adhyasa. Not only there is an Adhyasa, your mind is conditioned to find. This is what is expressed technically as Dehatma Buddhi and things like that. Conditioned to. Bas, I say, yeah. What do you say? We instinctively respond like this. Yeah, natural. Correct. Even the instincts that science talks about, has come because of Adhyasa only. Your instinct of survival, most fundamental instinct in any living organism, the instinct to survive, has come from where? I am a finite being. Adhyasa. Without Adhyasa, where is that thing that I am a finite being and I have to survive? So the need to survive actually comes from your essential nature of being limitlessness, free from time. But because of Adhyasa, you have taken yourself as a finite being. Therefore, you have to survive. It is actually seeking your own nature. Whether there is an ant running away from a fire or you running away from a fire, it is the same thing. That Adhyasa is there. Yeah. That's why it takes a lot of training to run into that fire. If you are a firefighter, you will run into the fire. No? Yeah. That's what we say. What is the difference between a civilian and a soldier? If there is the sound of an explosion or gunfire, the civilians will run away. The soldier will run towards, because I am here to tackle it. Even if he is off duty, even if he is unarmed, he will run towards it. Yeah. Why? Because it has gone. The training has replaced your instincts. That means what? That so-called instinct is not natural. It is common. It is based on naisargikoyam loka vyavhara. It is created by Adhyasa. Are you getting this? This is very important to see this. Therefore, some of my instinctive responses and situation is good to see, examine that. We don't have to take care of certain instinctive fears because they are meant for your physical safety. Okay? We are going on a ridge walk. So naturally there is a caution. Ridge means both sides is dropping. It's a small narrow. Naturally there is an instinct. You are not going to be fooling around there. In fact, if anybody youngster fools around, you will give him one whack. Be in line. Be awareful now. So those you don't have to. Unless you are functioning involves that and you have to take care of that. Otherwise you don't have to. Instinctive, let it remain. But the conscious ones that are there, conscious ones, those examine. Yeah. Because everything comes from your sense of insecurity only, and insecurity is based on Adhyasa. Look at all my issues. The good, the bad, the ugly, all of that comes from my sense of insecurity. Otherwise, why should the Shastra go and say separately, Abhayam Pratishtam Vindate, etc.? Why is it necessary to say that? Abhayam Pratishtam, why? I don't know, I am not going to be like Arjuna or Bhishma or something. I am not a warrior, I am a simple ordinary person. But Abhayam Pratishtam Vindate. If you are a simple person, more problems. Insecurity in relationships, functioning, job, this, business, everything is insecurity. Isn't it? Therefore, as a value, you have to put the other way around. Risk-taking ability. Can you see that? Krishna in the Gita. And the gamblers and the gambling. I mean, come on, why should we talk about gambling? Isn't gambling the source of problem in the Mahabharata? No, risk-taking ability is necessary. So risk is what? I mean, anything in it. When two people getting married is what the risk nahi hai kya? You go on a date, the risk is not there. What? How do you know that character is a good person or a con man? Or a con woman for that matter? How do you know? It's a risk. Having a child, big risk. Yeah. You know a child will survive, you will survive. Big risk. Yeah. Bringing up teenagers, don't even talk after that. Risky risk. Why risk? Because of my insecurity. Or kya hai? Now so many people die in childbirth, so many. Yeah, but 98% of them survive. No? You don't look at the positive. You only look at the negative statistics. Why? Insecurity. Why? Finite being. Why? Adhyasa. So, right across, Adhyasa is a problem. That's why that is tackled first. That is made clear. इतने ही बात है और कुछ नहीं है. Yeah, the whole thing rests only on this. Yeah. So this is your life issue. Yeah. It is not some separate Adhyasa bhashya by Shankara we are studying. Hey, it's connected to every issue of life. Yeah. This is it. Yeah. The need to feel special also comes from Adhyasa, no? And to draw attention to myself, want to feel special. Same thing. Adhyasa. Why? I am not special. I don't feel special. Even the special people don't feel special. Honestly, I am saying, even the special people don't feel special. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, when you interact with people who have been hugely successful, not successful as landing a CEO in a job. I'm talking of they set up the whole company and worth millions of dollars. They need to feel special. Yeah. Even you come to study full-time Vedanta, udhar bhi hai, they need to feel special. Yeah. Okay. Public record hai, but let me say it. Why they need to feel special? So, when we are in Sandipani, you know, all of us wash our own clothes. So Swamiji also do it. He would set the example. So people said, Swamiji can't be washing. Swamiji, I'll wash it for you. I said, okay. Then there became a competition. I will wash all the clothes. I am not joking. Now Swamiji's clothes are taken care of. I mean, how many people can? Who's the next in charge? Uska clothes I will wash. I'm not joking. This happened in Coimbatore. And finally, one day, the next in charge comes with a torn kurta and is asking that lady who was looking at, where have you kept my clothes? I can't find them. Guru Seva is a good thing. Okay? But I alone will do it. That is the need to feel special. Can you see? I alone will do it. Hey, you want to do it? You want to do it? Fine, yeah, okay. That's not a problem. But I alone. You need to feel special. Why? Adhyasa again. You have come to handle the problem of Adhyasa. See, I used to do a lot of things for my Guru because I see there's a need, I'll help him out. Somebody else is doing it, I'll take a step back. Okay, na? Yeah. You take a step because, okay, that person is doing it. Not there, okay, step in. Or set up a system where the things are taken care of. Okay, fine. But the need to feel special comes from that. Even for I'm talking for a full-time student of Vedanta, it comes in. Or the reverse psychology of youngsters, I don't care. That's another way of feeling special. You're creating an anti-script, that's all. Adhyasa. The whole thing is Adhyasa. Okay. Then he goes into that this Adhyasa itself is avidya, etc. And that statement also is misinterpreted. We will see that next class. Okay. Om Tat Sat. Yeah. Good place to stop. Oh.